Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so you've got a handout in front of you. You see that? Now, anybody that wants a copy of this recording, we're rolling, aren't we, Emil?
We're rolling.
Just text me. There's my number. Text me. Send me your contact information, and I'll be happy to send it to you. Both parts. This is real deal. It happened. It is happening as we speak. Let me get fired up here. And so, what's on that link? You see that tiny URL? You see that? Pull it up on your phone. It's 48 pages. We're not going to cover 48 pages today, but I've loaded it. The reason I did that because it allows me to put a lot of information in there. And so we're not, you see that? Pull out your phone and type in that URL, and you're going to see the presentation. Y'all got it? If you're going to get it, you'll get it. You need to look at this on your phone, okay? All right. All right, I'm Walter Wofford again. I have been around for a while. Bought my first house in 1981. Some of you guys were not even born then. My wife, Laura, and I have been married 50 years. Can we say that's a miracle? It's a miracle for any marriage to last that long. And we're kind of taking this year to go travel and celebrate every month, doing something. And so last month we went to Italy for a couple of weeks, and we're going other places. And so we got our health during our go-go years, and at some point we'll turn into a slow-go years, and then we turn into a what? No-go years, right? All right, so I've been in business 45 years. And all that really means is I've made way more mistakes than you'll ever make. That's what it means. Because I've been active in the business. And I've tried almost everything you could do. And succeeded at some, failed at others. We've done them with retirement accounts, without retirement accounts. Funded a lot of deals. Spec houses, rentals, the whole deal. And today, with the Amazon influence, the Amazon effect, up here in Madison and now in Clinton, that's what you sent out, wasn't it, Linda? They've announced another data center in Clinton, and then Amazon just announced another $10 billion expansion on the one. Have y'all seen that up there? Have y'all gone to see it? Go to Canton. Instead of going to the right, take a left. You know, it sits on about 1,000 acres. It's the most impressive thing you'll ever see. You know why short-term rentals make a good business today? Because we don't have enough local workforce housing for those electricians, engineers, all those plumbers. We don't. I've had for over 2 years now, I've had 3 engineers staying at a house out at the reservoir on Turtle Creek, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. 1,900 square feet. What do you think would be a good rent for that?
36 to 4,000.
5,000. 5,000. They're happy with it. They've been there 2 years, paying 5,000 a month. Does that get your attention a little bit? And so it's a good business today. I think it'll be a good business here for a long time. You know, Madison. You can't have short-term rentals in Madison or Ridgeland. Limited in Clinton. You can't have the reservoir. So what does that tell you? They pay these contractors $1,500 a month for lodging. What could you rent for $1,500 a month? You can't stay in a hotel for $1,500 a month. That's $50 a day. So these workers that are coming in, they say, well, let's rent this house for month after month after month after month after month. So what does that? So all you landlords, traditional landlords, I'll pick on you, Julie. What is for a traditional landlord? When do you have the most expense?
Move out.
Okay, did I mention they're here for a long period of time? And so if you had a house and I wanted to become your tenant, and I'd turn around and sublease it, which is called arbitrage, rental arbitrage. You know, as a traditional landlord, what you don't have, vacancies. You got no vacancies. And so there are a lot of reasons I like this business. So do you have any investments, Bob, that you can invest $10,000 and net $2,000 a month? Anybody got anything close to that? You?
My short term.
Yeah, you're short-term rental. All right, so
Let's say first.
anybody got anything close to that? So that's the opportunity here. It's a cash flow play. You got to be in business. It's a lot easier to have 6 or 8 or 10 than it is to have one, because you got to have a team. You got to build your team out in order to do that. So, well, let's just take a poll. Linda, you're a short-term rental operator, right? How many you got? 2.
But they're not short term.
All right, so the midterm or long-term. All right, you got, how many you got? 7. Who else has got some in here? Come on. Julie, you got, are you operating them?
Yeah, I got 6 those Amazon guys that
Okay.
live in the house.
You got 1. You got 1. One.
Well,
You got 2. Where are yours? Say- Okay. All right, so the rest of you, y'all just curious about it? Is that it? You want to hear what the opportunity is here? And so we're going to compare it, and we can follow. For those that you pulled up my link, I want a couple of book recommendations for you. Y'all see that? Y'all follow me on that? Die with Zero is a book you ought to get, and it's by. It's not what you think. Don't judge a book by its title. But what it made me aware of, that at the end of the day, we're going to look back, and the experiences we've had and the trips we've taken with the people will mean more to us than money. Do you believe that? My mother's soon to be 97 years old, and all she can do is have her memories. Okay, and so that's the point of this book, and it'll cause you to take some action. The other thing, back in 2009, 4-Hour Workweek came out. I recently read it again twice. It's still just as good and just as motivating. I would suggest that you take time to listen or read it. So I've really been teaching in this town for how many years, Bob? All right, that's a couple of years. And the reason that I quit is because I realized that 97% of the people that I'm talking to won't engage. Only 3% engage. And so I have the luxury of time of wasting it on 97% of the people who won't engage. That's the reason I quit doing it. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Time is more valuable than money. So I'm going to ask you, which category are you in? You're in the 3% or the 97%? All right, so there's a picture here of a fire hose, drinking from a fire hose. That's compliments of art back there. All right, so you can look. The reason I loaded this document up and is because we can go get AI to do a better job of what is a short-term rental business, and I put it in there. How does that differ from the midterm rental business, which Linda is in? And the idea is to keep people paying high dollars in your houses as long as you can. That's the goal. The cash flow is 2 to 3 to 4 times greater than a vacant rental. All right, so not every house fits it. So I'm flipping on down to page 4. That I asked Glock what the top 10 reasons for engaging in short-term rentals, and you can read it. Mine, some overlap, mostly not. The reason I like it, number one, and so I'm on page 4, better cash flow than long-term rentals. I said that. And it's recurring income. I don't want to have to go out and find a house that I'm going to fix up and then sell, pay tax on it. By the way, it's probably the highest tax rate. and then have to go do it again the next day. I did that for many years. Sold 1,000 houses here, and it's very inefficient. When you have recurring income, you wake up one day and say, when you got gray, recurring is better than the one-offs. You agree with that, Julie? Of course, I can't see any gray in your hair. All right, so there's little or no collection problems. How about your rental business? Or any business? Don't you always have collection problems? Virtually any business, you're going to have collection problems. Not this business. Because so many times they pay up front before they move in. And the money drops into a bank account automatically. Number 3, all problems can be solved with a cash or gift card. So if you have, let's say your plumbing backs up and you got a guest in there, you solve the problem and then go give them some money. That's what you do. You take out the toxic feeling about it. You buy your way out of the problem. And that's what, and of course, that happens, doesn't it? What about, anybody had their Wi-Fi cut off that had nothing to do with you? Every one of us. Okay, number 4, the hosts get reviewed, as do each guest. I got to do a good job. And they've got to do a good job of taking care of my house and can be influenced with good communications. And I got plenty of that because I use technology. 5, repeat guests are easier to deal with. They know what they're getting. And I've had many, many, many repeat guests. Why do you want a repeat guest to book on your direct booking site? Is because it's cheaper. Art, how much you pay Art, how much you pay Airbnb a month? I asked you that earlier and you didn't know. More than $5,000. More than $5,000 a month. And so if you can get them on to your own direct booking site, by the way, of those people that are operators, do you have your own direct booking site? Do you have yours? No, you don't. Art, somewhat. Art, so yeah, so whose brand are you branding? No, that's a question, Julie. Whose brand are you branding? You don't get repeat business branding somebody else's brand. All right, right?
I'll let you do. I was going to say, what about exposure? How to find it? But I'll let you do your thing.
Well, yeah, I have them on Airbnb, but for me, a perfect world would have no Airbnb, 0, and just operate off of a direct booking site. Now, all right, Art, you studied film. You got any videos of your properties out there? No, I know you don't. All right, Julie, you got videos?
Oh, yeah.
Where are they? Where are they posted?
I usually, oh, well.
No, the answer is no, she doesn't have them. All right, so this is just a point. Linda, you don't have videos, do you? All right, so you know how easy it is to get a video? I mean, really, I'm going to show you in here how to do this, but the point I'm trying to make, if you're going to be in this business, you need to be serious about it because the tools are there that are, you can fumble around and be in this business. As I did, the first booking I had was 2008 of a house I had out at the reservoir that I was trying to monetize a vacation home that we had. And the first guest was a professional resort manager from Hawaii. He came to see his mama. And I didn't leave a key out. He had to break in the house. So that's experience number 1. Okay, so hopefully it's got better. All right, so you can't run this business by yourself, and which is quite contrary to a lot of. Bobby, can you run your law business by yourself?
No, I need that.
Right, and so sooner you realize that, then you can scale your business more. You rely, and I tell my people all the time, I want you to fire me. I want you to make decisions as if you own the company. I want to be fired, and I think that's a healthy attitude. Messaging is automated. 90% of all the messaging is canned messaging with their name on it. Tuesday's the day you take the trash out. I'd appreciate it if you'd do that sort of thing. External surveillance cameras tell it all and can be reviewed. Paul, you're going to give me a 5-minute warning, right?
Yep.
Short-term rentals provide full-time income with part-time involvement. Does that appeal to anybody in here? Part-time. I spend probably an average of less than 2 hours a day on the business, and it provides a full-time income. The time where you spend a lot of it is when you get one up and running, which I'm doing right now. All right. If it's set up and managed properly, you can do these with your retirement accounts. All right, here's a bonus. You don't have to own the property to receive the cash flow. Art, you own all yours, right? Yes. Julie, you own yours? Linda, you own yours? You don't have to own them. Anybody got a fixed up rental house ready to go? In here? Where is it? All right, Jay, let me pick on you. I went right past you. So you got to, so where do you list your rentals? Zillow? Zillow. All right, so Zillow, so these pictures, fixed up house, you want 1,500, right? Let's just pick it. And it's an area that I would want to be in. I said, Jay, I'm going to be your tenant. And I'm going to take care of the first $200 of any repair. And I want you, you're not going to have any vacancies because I'm going to be your tenant. I'm going to turn around and put it on Airbnb. You see so it's an arbitrage. Basically, I'm buying in one market and selling in another one. That's how it works. But you can, in that process, you can carve $1,500 to $2,000 extra profit out of his house. Now, why wouldn't every landlord want to do that with a professional? Well, because they don't. Oh, I don't want all those people coming through my house. You got to realize I've got to take care of that house better than anybody because they're reviewing me every single time. Right? All right, so I'm almost through with that. So, also, Jay, with this work, you got a house. I'm going to be the operator. Let's do a joint venture. You own the house. We'll split the profits with a performance lease, and we'll get to decide what that is. So you, as the landlord, have an opportunity to have a higher income by arbitraging it with me. Would you consider that? That's the idea. All right, so no evictions, no foreclosure, no life events disrupting their ability to pay, no dogs, no cats. Did I just eliminate most of these real estate problems? All right, so a quick question for you guys. We're not going to get through this 48 pages, but for all you long-term landlords, how are you going to exit ownership when the thrill of management is gone? How are you going to get out? How do you see yourself getting out? Or when your health is gone, how do you get out? So I want you to be thinking this in the back of your head. And so here's my bold statement. If you think a $20,000 net business income is impossible, then it is for you. It takes way fewer houses to reach the goal of that than traditional landlording. So, Art, you've been a property manager. How many houses would you have to manage to net, I'm talking about after all expenses, $20,000 a month? 400? Oh, no. Oh, no, no. No, no, no. I'm talking about managing. If you were a fee manager, you'd have to have way over 200. Way over. I'm just picking numbers here. So if you can net 2,000 per month on a house in short-term rental, how many does it take to get to that 20,000 a month? 10. Exactly 10. So these houses are kind of like our bodies, Linda. They're deteriorating every day, aren't they? You want to look after 200 houses deteriorating every day, or would you rather look after 10 houses deteriorating? Right? I mean, is all this beginning to make a little sense to you? I hope I'm changing. So here's a case study. 5034 Old Canton Road, right across from Palm Bridges. All right, I'm on page 6. Can y'all look it up? You see where it is on page 6? Now, I bought, a year and a half ago, I bought the house next door to it. So I know I got a good idea what it's worth because I had that house appraised. Okay, and I got a good idea what it'll generate because it's got short-term, well, they're actually long-term tenants working out of Amazon. You see where it is? It's pretty ordinary looking house, isn't it? The yellow house on the right, I own that one. So let's come on down to page 7. Land roll says it's 1699 square feet. And it was a 3-2, was rented for $1,500 a month. That's about right. I mean, right? Isn't that what it would rent for? It had a workshop in the back under roof. So here's a test question. What does the deed date indicate about their mortgage interest rate? Look at the land roll. What was the deed date? Can you see it? 21. What does that indicate about the interest rate? What was happening in 21?
Cut rates like crazy.
All right.
I'd say we're kind of coming up a little bit.
So let's just scroll on down. 20, I've got them all here. I asked Rock, tell me what the average interest rate for Fannie Mae mortgage. The average for 2020 was 3.11. For 21, it was 2.96, less than 3. Now, why do you think that matters at all? What does that have to do with the talk? And you can look at the rest of the numbers.
You have a lower payment.
The owner has a lower payment. Therefore, when I ask them to seller finance it to me, they're going to make a bigger spread than they were making renting to the house, to the tenants. All right, so here we go. So the conclusion I'm trying to get you to see is I want financing in place. I want to manufacture my own financing. Can you do that? Sure you can. Linda, you're selling yours with seller financing, aren't you? All right, so here we are. We're on page 10, bottom up. So it needs painting inside, 1,500 floor covering, clean hardwood floors, minor electrical and plumbing, new kitchen countertop, new appliances. Call it $10,000 bucks. Okay, does that sound reasonable? No foundation issues, no roof issues. Should appraise for $190. Well, that's what my house next door appraised for. All right, so what would you do with it? Before today, what would you have done with that house? You probably wouldn't have bought it, right? Probably wouldn't have bought that house. It's too thin. It's too, it's too thin. That's what. All right, so would anybody buy that house for a long-term rental on a busy street that no homeowner would want? I want it. All right, so what would you offer? Come on, you real estate guys, make me an offer. How much?
$75,000.
Okay. Well, I happened to do a little homework, and I noticed that he owes more than that. So let's go forward and see. So I use PropWire, and I'm going to let you study that. Who uses PropWire in here? It's free. You can look up any property, and I'm not going to, you can read it, but you can tell when they bought it. It's very similar to that. It's free. So that's what I used to find this house. I found the owner. I sent him a letter and said, I got the house next door. When you have a rollover in your tenant, I'd be interested in talking to you about buying it or becoming your tenant. It was just that simple. His tenant didn't pay. When they rolled out, I went over and made him an offer. I had to make him an offer. All right, so let's look at page 6. PropWire says that it's worth $230,000. You believe that's a number? Well, they got comps to back it up. That's part of the thing that PropWire has. But if you look at that picture on the bottom of page 12, my house is to the right. So this is the one we bought. So I'm going to flip through there. It tells you all about the property, what they think it's worth. It also tells, they estimate what the mortgage loan balance is. Is that helpful information to you? All right, so let's go to page 14. It also tells information about the owner. You can do a skip trace for 10 cents. And you can get their email address. You can get their phone numbers. How about that? Is that worth 10 cents? All right. So it also, if you look at the bottom of that, it also shows all the properties that he owns, regardless of what entity he bought them in. So you look up one of mine, and you know I bought them all in land trust or LLCs, right? They listed them all. So you get to see what their portfolio is. Now, go to page 15. It also gives the comps. Page 16, it also has the history. When it sold, what it sold for. And so is that some pretty good information for free? You don't have to go to the courthouse. It's done most of your work for you. So without a target, you'll miss every time. Let me tell you what my target is. I want a 3 or 4 bedroom in 39211, 39216, 39047 out at the reservoir, with the possibility of adding a bedroom or 2, buying it subject to, not assuming the loan, leaving the loan in place, using a wraparound mortgage, creating a long-term below market interest rate mortgage. What number would that be? Less is 6 or less, right? 6% or less. No balloon to put in my short-term rental portfolio with minimal cash down. That's my target. That's pretty clear, isn't it, Angela? Very clear. I'm not chasing all the other stuff that doesn't fit that criteria. So that's why the interest rate was important in that first part of this discussion, because what I did is I went to Grok and I said, I put the scenario, I said he borrowed money 5 years ago, he borrowed $82,000, and it's at 3.65%. What is his loan balance today? So I got close to that. And so it was a 15-year mortgage, so he had paid 5 years into a 10-year mortgage. So I talked to him about the benefits of his cash flow if he financed it to me. And you can see all the language in here, but basically what he would rather, over the next 20 years, make $155,000 cash flow by being the bank. Easy decision when he's kicking out a tenant, isn't it? And so I told him I'd fix the house up. And so that's exactly what we did. I put it in a Google Doc, and I used, I'm going to tell you, I'm going through some tools. Look at page 17. Who has seen CubiCasa? Charlie back there. CubiCasa. Do you think the land rolls are accurate as to, in terms of square feet?
No.
Have you ever found one that was?
Yeah. Rarely.
Well, you know, this house, they added a back a den that they didn't ever permit. And the house I bought next door, they added a den they never permitted. So how could it be right? They were off about 400 feet. Now, what does that translate into value, being off 400 feet? 30, 40,000 bucks. And so this is a tool. You take your phone, download the free app, you just walk around the house like this. That's it. And then look what it generated. Can you see it on page 17? Pretty detailed report. You see it? Are y'all following? I know exactly how many square feet. This one got close to the land roll, but what it didn't show, so you can look at all this is a great tool. So when you get around to making your videos of your properties, they got a virtual tour that costs 85 bucks that will make yours great. So just keep going on down. All right, so we're on page 21. So here's the steps. How much time I got, Paul?
5 minutes.
Well, good thing we're not going to get through this. So this is just what I did. The steps that I went through. This is on page 21. I did an online title search that I think everyone ought to do that as the first thing when they get a call from a seller. You want to know if they got judgments, or you want to know the quality of the title before I'm going to get in my car. So it was squeaky clean. It had one mortgage. I can do that in my pajamas. I checked for back taxes, none due. Step 3, I searched the property records and found out that he had originated $81,600 mortgage 5 years ago. I calculated what his loan balance would be, even though that didn't really enter into this. I asked Grok to estimate the interest rate, and they came up with 3.65. So I put all this in a Google Doc, and I sent it to him. And you know what he said? That makes sense. And we tweaked it just a little bit because my assumptions about his balance and payment, you can't know that for sure. So it was a little off. So this note here at the top of page 22, a verbal offer is not worth the paper it's written on. If you're not going to take the time to give somebody a written offer, you're wasting your time. Would you take? Hey, would you take? That doesn't work. And give them reasons why it does. So here's part of the written proposal. You'll read it later. But what I wanted, and this is what I ended up with, I wanted a 6% 20-year mortgage. That's being optimistic since I'm almost 72, isn't it? Seller financing. My principal and interest is $940. Now, with taxes and insurance, that's going to put the payment about $1,400. Could you make money as long-term rental? No, you couldn't make any money at that. There's no cash flow. Couldn't make it. So, well, could you make money if you could get $4,000 or $5,000 a month in real income? Sure, you can. Took title in a title holding trust, and who's the beneficiary? You don't know, and I'm not going to tell you. Non-recourse financing. That means I didn't guarantee the loan, and if I used an IRA, the IRA didn't guarantee the loan. Nothing down. Why would somebody take a nothing down deal? I said, I'll put $10,000 into your house and I'll do it within 30 days. We're going to be finished next week. Leave the existing mortgage in place. Okay, so here's my question for you, and I think we'll just end with this. If you can negotiate a similar deal, why would you ever suck up to a banker?
There wouldn't be a need.
There would not be a need. And did I design the terms that I wanted? So when you go suck up to that banker, do you get to design the terms you want? No. All right, so if you could do this, what's stopping you?
I think there's got to be an aspect where you develop a relationship with this guy where he trusts you. Because what happens?
I didn't know him.
To ask you is what if you set up this arrangement, how do you ensure that he's continuing to pay his mortgage?
Okay, so that's a good question. Good. So how do you ensure that he pays the underlying mortgage? Well, I'll get noticed. I will make sure I get noticed, and he'll cooperate with me on that. So actually, if you think about it, he signed the deed of trust too. Now, that's kind of weird, isn't it, when the lender signs the deed of trust? Because he's got some responsibilities to make those payments. And if he doesn't, I have the right to step in and make them for him. So could you do this? Well, yeah, sure you can do this. But what I'm trying to show you is you got to have a clear picture of what you're after.
Okay, Walter Wofford back. It's Saturday after the Thursday presentation, and I got kind of excited. I went over to the house today, and the carpenter's there building the wall, and so I wanted to continue this presentation with a Zoom call so you can watch it later at your convenience. So I want to tell you, one of the ways that we are promoting our business is we have a referral link, and it's a very simple thing that we assign a $100 discount code to an individual who wants to promote it. So they just simply send out an email that says, use this discount code when you book on Walter's direct booking site. And so we know when somebody makes a reservation, a booking on there, and we let them know that, and as soon as the stay is over, then they get paid $100, but the guest gets $100 off their stay. So that's a very easy thing to do. We do it through Hospitable. So I'm going to move on and keep telling you more about this. So if you'd like to join our informal referral group of short-term rental operators only, just reach out to me. Okay, I'm getting my nerd on here. I used Mac Whisper to transcribe the video recording from Thursday and then uploaded it into notebooklm.google. And I want you to know about this because I use it almost every day. And it generated an audio files plus a video file. So what I did was, all I did is upload the transcription in Notebook LM, and I asked it to generate an infographic, and that's what you see right there. Pretty interesting. And so, in addition to that, I've included an AI-generated audio of the transcription, and it does a better job than what I do. Also a video here, 5-6 minute video that they've created, and all this is free. So I want to encourage you to use it. I found out about this about a year ago by reading the Wall Street Journal, and it's improved. They've added so many things to it, but you create a notebook, and you can upload up to 50 sources, PDFs, text files, and it combines all that, and then it creates an audio, a video, and some other things too from it. It's a good tool to learn how to use. So Notebook LM automatically summarizes the sources, identifies key topics, and makes connections across them. You got to listen to it. So go back and listen to that. So you've heard the first part of my talk. Well, come and click here to listen to what they have to say about what I said. Very interesting. We use it. If you have a real estate contract you can upload the contract in a PDF or copy the text, and they will have two AI folks talking. And I use this for my offer to buy the house on Old Canton. All right, so good for students, educators. And so what I sent to the seller, 5030 Old Canton Road, was exactly this. I gave him an infographic, and I focused on the WRAP strategy. The passive income, and he liked it. So this, you can see, click here, that's exactly what I sent him. So I justified my offer, and I put all this in a Google Doc. And so I bought the house next door for $118. The seller had recently put a new roof, painted exterior, installed fence, spending over $25,000, and it's $1,861. I then painted it completely, new countertop, stove, and all that same stuff I'm doing to this house. And according to the landlord, your house is 1,699 square feet. Thank you for your consideration. So that's basically what I sent him with a formal offer. We tweaked it just a little bit, but he basically didn't change any of the terms of it. And we got it accepted and closed. So I use this amortization calculator, and you can too. But I used it, and I put in the offer the amortization schedule so you could see how much you would be making in a spread. So after the contract was accepted, I had 10 days to complete the inspections and due diligence. So I did a termite inspection, and you can see who I used, and you're welcome to call them. They're not employees of mine, but they are open for business. Had a plumber inspection, HVAC. Sherwin-Williams does the flooring, the vinyl plank that we're going to put down. They do about 30 installs a day. They got a big operation, and they can install it, labor and material, cheaper than I can buy the material. And they got crews that do it, and they'll knock it out in one day. So the kitchen countertop, I'm going to put a new one in there. I ordered appliances, new stove, over the stove microwave, new dishwasher, and I didn't put in there garbage disposal, but we'll have that. Then we're going to have the hardwood floors cleaned and order new curtains. We've already got those in. So I got a lead on an Amazon contractor before I actually closed on the house, and we agreed to rent it for $4,100 a month beginning May 3rd. So that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. I better get busy. I took some pictures this morning, and I'll show you in a minute. So here's a quick rundown on seller financing in the U.S., and it's down at the bottom. You can see that YouTube link. I'd suggest you watch that just to get an idea how big a business, how much seller financing is part of our real estate world. $29.5 billion in seller finance notes were created in 2025. And you can see Fred and Tracy doing that interview. Very good. All right, so if you want to know a little more about how to buy a house leaving the mortgage in place, that'd be subject to, I created a video with AI to deliver that content. All right, I got a sidebar here. If you want to learn the steps for Mississippi do-it-yourself foreclosure, click here. I actually did 3 earlier this month, and it's not as hard as you think it is, and it's a lot less expensive than hiring an attorney. So here's what I found during the walkthrough. Back to Old Kenton Road house. I got some pictures I'm going to show you. So see that room right there, 14 by 17? So to me, that's an additional living space. And I've asked Grok to help design it. So after we get this up and running, we will have put a wall in the living room. You can see that. I'm going to show you a picture in just a minute of that. And we'll have this room will be a separate rental. And the reason I want to do that is often these contractor crews have a boss man and he likes to live separate. And so that, I think it'll probably cost about $10,000 to get that up and running, but it should increase my revenue by $75 a night. So is that worth doing? I think so. All right, so let's go. So I just took these pictures this morning. That's the back of the house. And that little add-on room is right to the left. So we got a lot to do in 2 weeks. So here is that room. So we'll rip everything out of there. All the cabinets, all the lighting, start over. We'll put vinyl flooring down in there. And you can see right on that back wall will be a big TV, and we'll have a couch in front of it. And right here, this wall that's the kitchen. We'll go all along that back wall so you can see we got plumbing access. And we'll have about 12 feet of kitchen there. And then we'll have here, that corner will be a 40 by 40 walk-in glass shower, and then we'll have a toilet right beside it and a kitchen sink, bathroom sink right there. And then there'll be a wall built for the queen bed to go up against. So you can see, you kind of get an idea for this, that we'll have room for a queen bed. And there'll be the entrance, separate entrance. We'll put in some new doors, glass, that sort of thing. So here is that den on the Old Kenton Road house. We put in some curtains yesterday, and what we'll do, we'll clean up those floors and use I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a frameless sofa, just like these foam beds come in boxes, and then you open them up and they inflate, so to speak. They do that with sofas. Go look up frameless sofa and see what you think about that, because we're going to put that in there. And on that wall, the refrigerator's not going to go there. It goes in the kitchen when we get through. But on that wall, just below that, that's where we're going to have a big screen TV. All right? So there's the wall that's going in right now as we speak. That is the wall in the living room. Let me go back and show you that diagram again, so you get the context of it. See the red line? That's what's going in today. The carpenters are over there, and I've really got excited about this thing coming together. All right, so there's the wall, and the carpenter's building out a under sink cabinet there, and we'll put the dishwasher in, and the stove will go to the left there, and it will look very similar to this picture. And that's the house next door. So that's the quality we're putting in there. And so you can see they're building that wall and putting insulation in it. And so we just made 2 more bedrooms. We took a 3-2 and made it a 5-2, plus that additional room. So there you go. So I got excited when I saw the carpenter there. So what I gave my Grok prompt was to design a granny pod. That's one term for a studio apartment. And I gave it the dimensions, and look what it did. So I did that. I just did that on my Keynote in my Apple computer, and I said, I want to design something like that. And this is what they came back with almost immediately. And so you can see the bathroom here. It won't be exactly like that, but you can see where the bed sits, and the kitchen on the back wall, sofa. And so I asked it, all right, give me the exact measurements of all that. So they gave it. You can see how they put it in there. And so all this was a matter of seconds, and this is what it'll look like when you get through with it, hopefully. So, question for you: for a 5-bedroom, 2-bath house plus a 1-bedroom efficiency, what do you think it would rent for on the short term or mid term? I think it will rent between $5,500 and $6,000 a month. Okay, so I did a video a while back showing all the resources that I use, and the 4 main ones that I use are here: Relay, Hospitables, SafeFi, and Turno. And I couldn't operate my business without Relay. RelayFi is a modern digital banking platform, and it allows me to have a separate account for each one of my short-term rentals. And with each account, you have up to 20 sub-accounts, standalone checking accounts underneath each one that I can move money all through there. And it's just look at this Relay demonstration if you have time. And if you need some help setting it up, I'll be happy to help you. All right, so we got our channel manager, Hospitable, and there are a bunch of them out there, but I just chose this one, and I'm very happy with it. It's a channel manager, so it's a mothership over Airbnb and VRBO. So any changes that I want to make, I make them in Hospitable. All messages come from Hospitable and integrate through both of those brands. So Turno is a cleaner hiring and management company. We use all of these every day. Big part of what I do. So the team, here's what I got. We all use Signal Messenger. It's kind of like WhatsApp, encrypted. And so I got a part-time handyman, yard guy, painter, furniture assembler. He gets $20 an hour. When he starts his truck in the morning, he's paid through Relay. We got a part-time virtual assistant from the Philippines that handles most guest messaging, do property onboarding, 20 hours a week, $6, so it's $120 paid through Wise. Cleaner team, they get paid through Relay. And then I have an inspector who goes the day the guest arrives and just make sure that everything looks good and the supplies are out. And that's my team. So without increasing the number of team members, how many more properties could I scale to? So scratch your head and think about that. Well, I certainly could double the number if I wanted to. Okay, so what I did last summer is I was using ChatGPT and Grok, and I asked it to create a 3-page article on each of these topics down here, and I created an interesting set of 28 videos, and this goes through everything. They last about 15, 17 minutes. So if you got time to study this will get you a long way towards understanding what the business is. And so we do all this IRAs and land trust and automations and performance leases, discover the best short-term rental business model, pros and cons explained. Anyway, the ultimate STR JV model. So go through there if you want to. It's free for you. Now, my direct booking site is Mississippi Short Stays. You can see that right there. And we use that all the time. We want to get people to book on this because it puts more dollars in my pocket. And here's just an example of April 6th through the 30th, the remainder of this month. And you see I've got 6 properties that I own, plus this new one coming on will be number 7, and I manage one for my son. The black areas on there those are long-term guests. Some have been there as much as 2 years. So just a few more things, and then we're going to wrap this up. A friend of mine told me a long time ago that you got to have a marketing hook in the water at all times. Do you? Well, here's something that I use. It's called Mail Meteor, and it costs $5 a month. You can send 5,000 emails a month for that, and it comes from your Gmail account. So it's a group like this one went to all the realtors in the Jackson metro area, and you can see so far we've sent 1895, and that's how many got open clicks and 27 unsubscribed. So basically what I sent them was information about our referral program. So some people don't want to get emails at all, but this is what it costs. You got a free, got a starter, and I would suggest once you try that and build out your own email marketing list. So we did one recently. Here's what we sent to the realtors. You can read it. And if you refer a client, you earn a referral fee, and your guest gets a special discount. So I wanted to tell you about Brian and Amy Biernatt. They have an offer for short-term rental mentorship, and you can see it right there. They'll schedule a call. They're a good operator. They operate about 25 houses, and they certainly know the business. And at some point, they've actually managed mine too. So once you reach out to them, watch a video if you need help learning this stuff. Now the rest. So that we're on page 52. There's a lot more in this document about data centers that I want to tell you about. How the direct impact on short-term rentals. We also have a piece in here about taxation. How are they taxed? And you might want to read that. That's a good article. All this was AI generated. I don't need to learn this stuff. They do it better than I do. And this explains what an arbitrage is. And I think if you're starting out, that'd be a good way for you to start without having to buy the property. And, because I've implemented these systems, I've got a Superhost award, and that's the highest status you can get. So wraparound mortgages, that's what we used, and this explains what they are. And we used when we bought this house. And it's a fantastic tool. You need to know about installment sale, because what I showed the seller was if he finances his property, he had a big profit in there. But if you elect installment sale, you pay your profit portion as you receive the money. So basically he gets to spread his profit out over 20 years. And that right there you need to learn about this, because most sellers, landlords don't have a clue about this. Okay, so that's 62 pages. So I want to invite you, if you get through this material and you're still interested in it, just reach out to me. Here's my contact information, and I'll be happy to set up a phone call. And if you need some more formal education and hand-holding, I can do that too. But I've given you the tools that you need. If you'll dig in and spend some time looking at this, you'll know enough. You'll know exactly what you need to know. All right, Walter Wofford, thank you.